Hello and welcome. I'm KJ and this is Swiley.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
You're listening to UnMaddening, where we unpack the madness of society one ridiculous word at a time. And the word of the day is amnesty, which is an official pardon for people who have been convicted of political offences, a similar word being pardon. Another definition from Britannica says that amnesty, in criminal law, sovereign act of oblivion or forgetfulness, from the Greek amnesia, which I thought was interesting, forgetfulness for past acts granted by a government to persons who have been guilty of crimes, often conditional upon their return to obedience and duty within a prescribed period. The return to obedience bit's good. That might come up later. Urban Dictionary definition of amnesty just came up with a bunch of stuff about Amnesty International. So I was like, all right, well, let's see what Amnesty International actually say that they are and what they think the word means. It says Amnesty International's core purpose is to protect human rights worldwide by campaigning against abuses and advocating for change. They work to ensure that human rights, as defined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and related international laws, are respected for all individuals. This includes activities like investigating abuses, raising awareness, pressuring governments, and supporting human rights defenders. Pressuring governments, they just said it out right.
They didn't even
Just went straight in there.
mince their words there.
No. So the first definition on Urban Dictionary of Amnesty International goes in one direction. It says a hugely respected organisation whose sole purpose is to promote and preserve human rights across the globe, which is not blinded by ideological barriers. They go after right and left-leaning dictatorships equally, and which does not compromise itself by casting its lot with corporations, governments, or elected officials. Furthermore, in their little explanation, their word explanation here, they've got history has found Amnesty International to be on the right side of nearly every international crisis. That being the right side of the crisis, not the right side versus the left.
Oh, yeah, they've conveniently placed themselves in that position.
It's funny how the term the right side is got
Political
right
meanings.
In it. Yeah. Anyway, and the other definition of Amnesty International, an organisation that exploits human rights for its own political or religious beliefs and whose members are experts on how they extort a large sum of money from governments, especially the governments of the G8 countries. Well, there you go. Mm-hmm. So it was a bit of a mixed bag on the
I think it just said it all. It was political influence, political coercion, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, look, I don't really know a whole lot about them, but that's what they say they are. And that's a few different takes from randos of what they perceive them to be.
They said it, not me.
Yeah, that's right. So, current news relating to amnesty. Why is this our word of the day? Well,
Tell us.
Let's cut to the chase.
Cut right to it. Cut straight through to it. Cut into it.
Machete amnesty bins in Victoria.
It will kill.
So I did some looking on the old Googleizer, as we do, to see why do we have machete amnesty bins going up in Victoria? What is the point? So a couple of online searches tells you plenty. The purpose: safe disposal bins will be installed at select police stations across Metro and Regional Vic. You can hand in a machete without penalty during this time. There's a 3-month period. This initiative is in response to a ban on the ownership and use of machetes without a valid exemption. The amnesty period is designed to allow individuals to safely dispose of machetes without fear of prosecution. Bins located at police stations, yes, we know that, including crime hotspots. So that nice and handy, if you forgot to bring yours with you, you can just grab one out the bin, you'll be right. Available 24/7 throughout the amnesty period.
That's quite funny, though. I mean, you look at what machetes are traditionally used for, and it's a tool, a garden tool.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we've gone through this before with certain gun laws in Australia and that, and we've removed guns and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can use anything. So we've removed automatic machine guns and all these other type of guns that got high-powered rifles and things like that. And now we've gone to machetes. So what's next? You're going to remove toothpicks?
Maybe. Screwdrivers?
Screwdrivers?
It's like that conversation
Guns
that we were
don't
having
kill
the other
people,
day.
machetes don't kill people.
That's right.
People kill
like
people.
certain things are available to pick up off the shelf in your local hardware warehouse.
I've seen you've played knifey spoony before.
And certain things are not. You have to be escorted to the cash register to purchase those items.
And then you can take it home and do whatever you want with it.
Yeah. But, I suppose that's their attempt of stopping things from happening within the store itself. However, those large ticket items that they're assuming will be the weapon, I think there's a lot of smaller ones that they're forgetting about. They might not be letting you take the machete to the front without a supervisor, but you can pick up a Stanley knife or screwdriver or... I don't want to give anybody any ideas here.
Even just a panel saw, you can grab one of them.
Have you ever heard of a shiv? You can make one out of anything, I'm told. So I don't think just simply machetes are the problem. But anyway, let's move on.
No more toothbrushes.
The Victorian government, as we know, Swally, they are a cut above the rest, and they know better than the rest of us. They're going to have 45 of these bins. Apparently there are over 60,000 machetes in Australia illegally. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to get a handle on that.
But not illegal yet.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, that's not how it was worded. Mm-hmm. The cost of these bins, the cost of the machete amnesty bins in Victoria is reported to be around $325,000 to $350,000 per bin.
So what are they, gold-plated?
Look, maybe.
24-carat amnesty written on the front of it.
I think that would be quite important to do, don't you? I mean, make it shining and glimmery and more appealing to be stolen. These bins are part of the state's response to the new ban on machetes, which will come into effect on September the 1st. So you've got a couple of weeks left and then you're in big trouble. Some individuals and political figures have criticised the high cost of the bins. I mean, why wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. Especially considering their temporary use. They're only there from the 1st of September for 3 months. And then I guess they're going to take them away.
$100,000 a month per bin.
More than, yeah. It's crazy. And how do you then repurpose them?
It's post boxes.
Big ones.
They're short now.
Oh, I didn't actually. I should have looked up what the dimensions of these are and what we could have come up with some ideas of how they could be repurposed for something else. For we care about the environment, right? How are we going to recycle these after the 3 month period?
That's another tree, and
well, that's just gone straight out the window.
That's automatically rise the sea level up by,
yes,
how many mils?
Yeah, that carbon footprint's getting worse by the minute. Okay, so why? Why did we get to this point? What happened?
Being facetious.
No, not you and I. How are we having this machete ban? What has happened before then? You'll need to have a valid exemption from the 1st of September if you are carrying one, using one, buying one or selling one. It's illegal to do it unless you have the exemption. And you get the exemption if you work in agriculture and you use the machete as part of your job.
Yep.
But do we recall in recent years getting an exemption is not as easy as having a valid reason to get the exemption. So I think that might have a really sucky flow-on effect for people that are actually needing to use them. And granted, those that are using them for their work are not going to be out in the streets and stuff.
Well, can you imagine? You just walking down the middle of the street in, where are we? Victoria.
Yeah.
In the middle of the Melbourne streets. Yeah, I'm just going to do some agricultural work.
Well, no, but the overreach that we've seen recently in Victoria in particular, does that mean that they're actually going to go to these agricultural spaces and be asking people to show their exemptions? That these farmers should leave their farm where they're working to generate an income for their family and go and run through this ridiculous process of applying for an exemption?
Does that mean?
And if they don't, they're going to knock on the door?
Well, it could be. It could be just like a firearms license where they You know, they have to be appropriately stored and locked away, and at any time we can come knock on your door and check. Have those details been discussed as yet, or are they just...
No, it just all sits in that grey area. You know, it's like, oh, we've got this really cool idea. It's going to cost this much money, but, you know, it's going to be really good, okay? We've had some issues. This is how we're going to solve it. And I love that you may be exempt bit. You may be.
Yeah, it's an ambiguous term of maybe, maybe not, and no guarantee.
Whole thing sounds like a bit of a stab in the dark, eh?
Well, we've been there before.
Time will tell. On the word amnesty, some amnesty pitfalls, according to the interweb. Amnesty programs, while intended to offer a fresh start, can have unintended negative consequences. Really? These include creating a perception of impunity, potentially encouraging future wrongdoing, and raising concerns about fairness and justice for those who haven't committed similar offences. Indeed. Furthermore, amnesty can be difficult to implement fairly and can be seen as a political tool rather than a genuine effort towards reconciliation. A little bit of corner cutting there.
Reconciliation.
Are you just locking a word in for another day?
It's for another day.
Okay. So recent news on machetes in Australia, beyond the machete amnesty bins. I'll pop some links down in the comments so you guys can read these articles yourselves. There's a Liberal Party Victoria website has a statement there that says, since February there have been 11 machete-related attacks reported in the media. I don't know how many more attacks of various sorts occur that don't make it to the media. There must be so many.
So why are they not just dealing with these people or this group? There's been 11 attacks and 45 bins at $300,000 a piece. Could that not be better spent on, let's use a word from a previous one, a task force?
Machete task force.
A machete task force.
Maybe.
I'm sure it would cost less.
It probably wouldn't cost less, but it might be just as effective as these bins are.
Yeah.
ABC had an article from June as well.
Of course they did.
Victoria Police says officers have confiscated 6,876 illegal knives in general so far this year, a record number. The number of knives police find and destroy annually has risen by 31% in the past 10 years. Police say they sometimes conduct searches for weapons at shopping and transport hubs in an effort to make the community feel safer. Feel safer. You might not actually be safe.
You've done nothing wrong, but you've been pulled aside and frisk searched for the fact that just to make you feel safer.
Oh, maybe not even. I wasn't even thinking about the person that actually gets randomly searched. But yes, that's not very nice for them. But no, like to make the community feel safe. This is a thing that we do, guys. So you can feel safe. Why can't you just actually make them be safe to the best of your ability?
Not just the perception.
Yeah.
The actual work.
Yeah. Yes. Regarding statistics on machete crime, I will also drop a link in the comments of like this paper on knife crime in Australia from the Australian Institute of Criminology. That was pretty interesting. Have a little squeeze at that. And then out of curiosity, I asked Google, because Google is all-knowing, what is the most committed crime in Australia? Do you have an idea what you think?
I've got no idea.
Not sure?
You'll have to tell me.
Okay. Based on court statistics, it's traffic and vehicle regulatory offences.
Speeding.
So speeding and not paying your rego. That's up the top there. Followed by acts intended to cause injury, mostly assault. And then you got theft and illicit drug offences, also significant categories. It notes, however, it's important to note that the most frequently detected offences, may not always result in court appearances. So they don't then actually make it into the court stats where you're then pulling your statement of what is the most commonly committed crime. And that including things like drug offences, theft, public order offences, and
And I think that's probably the root of the problem is the drug offences, the drug problem in Australia.
Yeah,
Probably more than any of it, rather than just having a $300,000 bin.
It definitely contributes to a lot, for sure. And maybe we need some better programs for supporting with that.
That's sort of where I was going with that. $300,000 can put a few people through a program.
Yeah. Probably still wouldn't even scratch the surface on the greater issue there, but I don't know. I don't know who comes up with these wacky ideas. But
doesn't
thankfully,
matter, soon we'll be eating with a fork and spoon.
Yeah, no, I was allowed.
No.
But so the top of that list was not Machetes.
No.
So that's good. But Victoria Police or Victoria Government are getting a jump on it, so it's not going to get to the top. So that's very important. We can all sleep easier tonight.
2027 cars are now illegal.
What?
Cars are now illegal, 2020, because of the highest crime statistics.
Oh, for the regulation of paying
the amnesty bin, drive your car into.
Those will be expensive ones.
That will be.
Far out. They'll be monsters out the front of every police station.
Big ship.
Like a big sea containers and
Ship
things.
them all off to China.
Send away all the vehicles. I'll put another link in there for this Australian Bureau of Statistics thing. They had a document on Australian crime, and it was from like the 08-09 financial year all the way to the 23-24 financial. So it had like the age and the genders of the offenders and the state and territory of where the crime has actually occurred as well. So it was really interesting how they collected all the data, and it was not a cut and dry document that you could just read the introduction and it tells you what the biggest crime thing is. Like, it really broke it all down. So if you're interested and you want to know like about your own state or territory, what they have recorded, check it out. Check it out for yourselves.
Is that page full of redacted nonsense that you were looking at?
No.
That was for another time.
That was to do with the e-Karen. That was
everything's redacted with that.
I'll send you that one later. Not you guys. You could find that yourself. I'm talking about Swiley. All right. Forging ahead, eh?
Yep.
Vintage,
lots of puns.
Vintage culture appreciation for today is
cut to the chase.
Still,
been there.
Still on amnesty, but we're going to talk about biblical amnesty because it's obviously a really important thing, and it's how we have salvation. It's one of the only times where you hear the term amnesty, and it is probably a good thing for you.
It means something.
And it makes sense. So if we're thinking about it in a biblical context, amnesty refers to the divine pardon, we're back on pardon there, and forgiveness offered by God to humanity through faith in Jesus Christ. Concept emphasising God's mercy and grace, allowing individuals to be reconciled with him after being separated by sin. Not just a pardon, but a restoration to a state of innocence, erasing the remembrance of past offences. I was like really enjoying that little write-up of the concept of biblical amnesty. It was a really cool way to look at it. And then it made me think about all the Romans roads verses. Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. And Romans 6:23, wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord. Then you have Romans 5:8, but God commendeth his love toward us in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. Romans 10:9, if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus and shalt believe in thine heart that God hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. And you've got Romans 10:13, so whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Excellent. Biblical amnesty I can get on board with. I love that.
That's your vintage culture.
That is a vintage culture. That is not only a vintage truth. It's one that's still true today. And will still be true tomorrow, and so on and so forth. And for that, we are grateful, undeserving and grateful. And on that note, that was fun.
As always.
Yes, we thank you for listening. We will catch you next time with another word and another rant.
Crazy word of the day.
Until then, God bless and peace out.
This content is for informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional advice. We are not bladesmiths, farmers, pastors or politicians. You are not more likely to suck less or try harder having listened to these shenanigans.
it will kill.